Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Weekly Crop. This week we are going to talk about the Westcott Solix light. We got these here in at Vistek and we're really excited about them because it is a light that can do what not a lot of other LED lights, in fact I don't think any other LED light can do. So Westcott has found a specialty with this light which I think is really cool, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. If you're not familiar with Westcott, Westcott is a brand that is dominant in the photo industry specifically for their materials and their softboxes or their light modifiers. And a couple of years ago they got into the lighting game with their LED 1x1 flex lights, which is sort of a blanket light type of thing, and has been a very, very popular light as a result of that. This is their first sort of like hard fixture LED light, and it came out in about 2017, 2018, early 2018, and is proving a success for them, and let me show you why that is. So when you look at this light, you get everything that you see here when you buy it. So you get the barn doors, the light diffuser, that kind of thing. You can buy an additional stuff where it'll get you the stand and a few other accessories as well. But the cool thing is it's a really great barn door. I really like it. It's well constructed. It's got additional flags on it, so it really blocks out the light and the spread. But the coolest part is that it is magnetized. So it goes on and off very, very easily. So when I do that, I'm going to take that off. And we're now left with the light diffusion dome. And again, that is magnetized as well. That comes off and on incredibly easily. It gives you about 120 beam spread, 120 degree angle, and you only lose about 1/3 stop light with this diffuser. So you don't lose a ton of light. If you need that 1/3 stop, of course, you can pull that off, especially if you're using a softbox and you want a little bit extra punch. So what makes this light special is that the fact that it has a built-in speed ring. So you don't need any sort of special mounts for it. The mount is already built in, so you can add any softbox in the world basically to this light, and it's a full 360 degree rotation on it as well, so you got full light control, and it can handle basically anything up to about a 5-foot softbox. They recommend up to 5 feet, but I know that there's people that have, including people from Westcott themselves, who have gone up to a 7-foot without any problem, but the mount, at least they know safely for 5 foot, and we're going to show you kind of what that looks like in a minute. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the photometrics of this light really quick before we get into setting up a softbox on it and seeing how quick and fast that can be. We're looking at about 2100 lumens, or sorry, 2100 lux at 1 meter. So to give you an idea of how bright that is, if you're familiar with the 1x1 Westcott flex lights, it's a little bit brighter than the 1x1 flex lights. If you're familiar with another brand like say Filex, and they have their P360s, which is a hugely popular light, that light actually comes in and around I think 1680, 1700 lux at 1 meter. So a little bit punchier, I would say, probably about 25%, 25 to 30% punchier than that light. And when we're looking at CRI, we've got a CRI rating of 96 and up, and TLCI of 97 and up. So very, very high quality light. It is only a daylight balanced light, so that's how they can get such a high CRI out of this light, is by sticking with the daylight balance. But of course, if you want tungsten, it's an easily gelled light. If you need to do that, you're going to lose a little bit of light power, of course, with that gel, but not a ton. So where this light is really, really remarkable is that it's super, super light. So it's about 3 pounds-ish. So you can probably throw a couple of them in a backpack, for example. And if you're out in the field, there's a 14.5 volt battery that can power this for 2.5 hours. The overall draw for this guy is about 60 watts. So if you're going to be using AC power, you can plug a huge ton of them into a single 15 amp circuit. So it doesn't draw a lot of power, but gives you a lot of light power. So the next thing I want to show you is just how quickly we can set up a softbox on this. We're going to start with just a Chimera brand softbox, a medium square softbox, and then I'm going to show you a Westcott softbox on there that's an octabox, so a 5-foot octabox as well. Okay, so starting with the Chimera softbox, and I've chosen to start with this one just because there's only 4 ferrules with this versus an octabox, which has got like 1,000. The best thing to do, of course, is I'm just going to remove the light dome. So you'll see the photo array there, the LED array. Of course, as always, sort of be careful you don't impact that while you're doing this, but that's going to give us our full light power. I'm going to remove the power source, and then I'm also going to remove this from the light stand itself. So this is the best way to do this. And then on this particular light, there's little things that says like an S on it. And that's where you're going to put just sort of a single softbox. So that goes into there. And then I'll find the other S that goes into here, and there's a little bit of a stretch here. So I'm going to stretch this out. Make sure we're at full capacity. Here we go. Bam. And that goes into there. Find the other ass, pull this guy all the way up. And that goes into there. And then this one will go into here. Super, super quick and easy setup. This is our full light power here. And I'm just going to, so nice warm light. Good amount of punch, you know, for studio or for sort of anywhere remotely that you want a nice little bit of light. This does a really, really great job. So portraits, I mean, this is such a great light for sort of portraits remotely as well. Very, very cool light. So that's, and then you can see there's, you know, it's a fully dimmable light, so I can dim it all the way down to basically 0, where that's about, you know, 15% power at around at number 1 on the scale. So very nicely smooth dimmable light. The next thing I'm going to show you, of course, is how to set up, or what it looks like on a much beefier octabox, and we're going to show you that with the Westcott octabox. So next up is the 47-inch octabox. So that's pretty much it for the Westcott Solix. If you're interested in this light, it is available here at Vistek now for only $599.99. So it's a really great starter light, especially for photographers looking for continuous light. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get quite a good amount of punch. And if you already have your softboxes, they're going to immediately adapt to this light, which is great. And that's all for this week's On the Weekly Crop. As always, thanks so much for watching and happy shooting.